Now this is the more classic end of my guitar collection right here. This is where I have my Ibanez AM53, which is an Art-Core inexpensive guitar that I love, by the way, incredible value in that guitar. Stay tuned for the complete review of that as well. But today we're going to talk about the SEW, which is really one of the higher end Ibanez S series standard guitars, meaning the non-premium guitar. And this is one that can get you in a really great feeling guitar without spending the $1,500, $2,000 that you might spend on a premium or on a prestige model Ibanez guitar. This will get you very close to that and have some of the features that really, quite frankly, those guitars have without the price. First thing that struck me about this guitar was the insanely beautiful flame maple top. This is a flame maple veneer. It's not a thick flame maple, it's just the veneer, but that doesn't matter to me necessarily. It is beautiful. I ordered this off of Guitar Center, so I had no idea what it was going to actually look like when it got here. I just had to cross my fingers, and that made me very nervous. Normally I like to go to Sweetwater where I can look at pictures. I was not disappointed whatsoever. I absolutely love it, and you can see how thick the veneer is, you know, just by looking in the input jacket. So let's jump into some of the specs on this thing.
Gear review, it's my gear review. Jedi Jingle Maker is made for you.
So let's look into some of the specs. Well, first of all, it has a Wizard 3 neck, which is a fairly standard variety of neck on a lot of these guitars, on the RGs as well as the S series. I love that neck. It's very thin. In this case though, it is roasted maple, which is good because it has less moisture, less potential for being affected by changes in climate. That's what I think. So that is a big feature for me. You know, sometimes you find that in even less expensive guitars if you're lucky, but I like that this one came with it, and let me tell you, the neck on this thing is second to none, in my opinion. I've never played a guitar that was more easy to play. Of course, we looked at that flame maple top over that Maranthe body, variety of mahogany, a lightweight wood, very lightweight. This thing weighs just about nothing at all. It absolutely is feather light. It has jumbo frets, which of course I love very much. I love that ability to do arpeggios and fancy moves on a fast fretboard. In addition, it comes with DiMarzio True Velvet pickups in the neck, as well as DiMarzio True Velvet middle pickup and a DiMarzio Tone Zone in the bridge. So these are reliable, good pickups that produce a beautiful tonal range. Please stay tuned until the end of the video to listen to a song where I play this instrument. I have many recordings using this thing, and some of them there's video of me in it. Another thing about this guitar is the gold hardware. It's stunning. I've actually changed some of the hardware, which I'll tell you about here, but I love the gold hardware against that flame maple. Now keep in mind that this guitar also comes in a darker stained wood pattern, which is a burl top. You know, very different look, but a dark brown finish with burl. Very, very nice as well. I'm sure it plays in a very, very similar way. Exactly the same except for the finish on the top. So a lot of options on this guitar. The neck is a 25.5-inch scale, which is what I like. It's got a 43 millimeter at the nut, 58 at the 24th fret, 19 millimeters at the first fret. It is made for speed. It is a nice flat fretboard that plays very, very easily, and I would recommend it to a friend. Now that we've looked at the specs, let's get into what I think about it. First of all, these two single coil pickups, I'm going to come right out and say it, they're noisy. I'm not used to having noisy pickups, but they are noisy. Single coil, that's a thing, right? They're known to be noisy. I'm going to get a noise gate that'll help me with that, but that really irritated me, I'll be honest. The tone though for these are excellent, but if you're going to put any gain at all on these, you're going to hear the hum. That bothers me, but they do sound good except for that with gain. The bridge I really like. It's a very high output pickup and definitely will give you that metal feeling. Also, when you back it off, you can get that classic rock feeling. The tones of this guitar are very unique to me, and I would say even more of a high-end tone, which is really kind of nice. But it'll also, with the 5-way switch, of course, there's no power tapping, but with a 5-way switch, a tone control, and a volume, you get enough flexibility to really dial these into a broad variety of ranges. You can get a very classic Strat type sound out of these top two single coils, which is of course a big benefit. It's a tool in my arsenal for that reason, because it fills in that tonal zone that only the chiminess of a wonderful classic vintage feeling single coil can give you. So outstanding. And the fit and finish of this thing, I am very happy with it. I play it a lot. I say this a lot, that the job that they do on these Ibanez guitars consistently impresses me. Tight tolerances, it seems like. Everything just seems tight as I bash it into the marble ledge. A guitar that you know when you pick it up, even though it's light, it doesn't feel like a toy. Now this bridge, this style of bridge, I can't say enough good things about. This is a hip shot style bridge, I would call it, but this is the Ibanez version of it. It's just a bunch of saddles with screws, and it couldn't be easier to intonate. If you don't know how to intonate a guitar, just check out my video about how to do it. It's very easy, but with this, you basically intonate it by turning these screws here, which are just Phillips head screws. And this is the easiest way possible to do it. Now this is one of the things I may end up upgrading, which is to change these from the gold saddles, Ibanez saddles, to Graphtec graphite saddles. I'll get the gold with the graphite channels in them and replace them. That's one upgrade remaining I plan to do to this. I love the knobs, no problem. Everything else is perfectly wonderful. I have done a fret cleaning job on it, which you should do on all your guitars. And that was good. I also had the nut replaced. This is a graphite nut, and it wasn't originally, but I had it custom installed, and I was very glad that I did. That's the thing that helps tuning stability dramatically. And then I put on these D'Addario locking tuners, which I've enjoyed, but I do somewhat regret not getting Goto. It was when I first started to modify my new guitars, and you know, they're okay, they're good, but I would prefer the Goto. Maybe I'll take them off and put Gotos on in the future, but they work. It's just that the Gotos feel a little bit more solid. These do have they just don't feel as solid. I'll put it that way. You can see that the headstock also has that beautiful flame maple. They continue it through, which I thought was pretty cool. It's not nearly as pronounced as down here, but you know, they attempt it. One thing that I think is really cool, actually, is that they have this binding around the whole edge, binding around the fretboard. The fretwork on this is fantastic. Maybe it might be a little hard to see that, but it is just smooth, smooth, smooth. Now, when I turn it over, you'll see that the back of the neck is exquisite and incredibly, incredibly smooth. I've never played a neck that was more fast feeling than this. I mean, it's almost effortless. The action on this is so low and easy to play. It is quite truly the easiest guitar I've ever played. It just is amazing, honestly, in terms of how it plays. It's one of my favorite instruments. Now, this neck pocket isn't as rounded as maybe I might have preferred. I'd probably like it to be cut in a little bit more, but it's still more than okay. And with a guitar this small, it's probably not a bad idea to have just a bit of beef there to hold on to, because that is not much wood. Now you can see in the middle it's about a little thicker, more like a regular guitar, but out towards the edge, not much, which is what gives it that very, very light characteristic. In terms of looking at the wood to see where they joined it, how many pieces are in it, looks like we have one there, one there, yeah, 1, 2, and there might be a third one in there somewhere, like here. Yeah, I think so, yep. So 3 pieces joined together, but very nice. I like the open pore look on it, certainly. And I like that they staggered this through the body string hole, and that is to allow a little more tension on the low E if you do drop tuning, and that's excellent. Now, the electronics plate is kind of interesting. Most of the time on guitars, you'll see that they sink it in. They sink it beneath the level of the wood. On this one, it comes up above. I think they have to make some trades along the way. But in terms of a tactile musical instrument, it is just exquisite. These D'Addario tuners are kind of interesting. They self-trim once you put the thing and they cut it off, the ending. I don't think I really like that, because then you have a super small ending to deal with if you have to take them off and put them back on. I wouldn't get these again. I would get the Gotos, which I do really, really like. But, you know, one look at this guitar and you fall in love, in my opinion, and you gotta love it. you know, because it wants to call music out of you. And the beauty of it is part of it, but the feeling of it is another. And this guitar has drawn out many songs. I hope you'll listen to the song at the end of this track, and then also check out other Jedi Jingle Maker tunes where I use this thing. It's been very inspirational, very, very inspirational. So I love this guitar. I'd recommend it. I give it 5 out of 5 stars in every single way. I would get a second one in a heartbeat just because I'm that nutty. And if you want to know what I'm getting ready to do to it beyond, let me show you. I'm going to install, I was going to put this in my Ibanez RG that's up on the wall here, but I've decided to put gold-plated Fishman fluence in this baby. Stay tuned for that video. That'll be on the channel soon. And take this, which I had planned for that guitar, which is a really high output pickup, and put it right there. It's going to look so cool. Black, and then the other two, the off-white. So that's the next change. After that, I may upgrade the saddles. And then it's pretty much perfect. I can't think of anything else I would really do to it other than just play the heck out of it and run it through a noise gate. So when I'm using those sweet single coils, they don't get distracting. So thanks for watching the video. Please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know what you think. And also subscribe to Jedi Jingle Maker, where we make the frequency meet the sea. Many of the music videos I do are directly related to my relationship with the ocean. So if you like that kind of stuff, check it out. Thanks for watching. Jedi Jingle Maker.
Gear review, it's my gear review. Jedi Jingle Maker